So
Where
on
you,
the Clinton stuff, what are some notable stories that you want to talk about? That you were talking about the kids.
yeah, it's the kids on the track. It's Henry Ives, and I can't remember the other kid's name right now. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't know if you can actually see this one, right? You probably can't. I'm probably just rambling. Kevin Ives and Don Henry. Yeah, these are kids that were killed back in 1987 when they were walking down a train track when they stumbled across a couple cops and some druggy dealers, you can call them.
What did you say their name was?
Kevin Ives and Don Henry. You can look this up. They were killed in August of 1987 in Arkansas. And it was covered up by the governor and the district attorney and the coroner, Fahmy Malik. He was a hilarious guy who had been famously quoted in saying that someone was
Here, I got him right here.
shot multiple times in the face as a suicide, and that they had fallen asleep with a crushed skull and knife stabs in their back after smoking 20 marijuana cigarettes and then falling asleep on a train track.
Let's see here. Let's see if it'll let me visit the actual website. Trying to find just an image of the kids. There we go.
Yeah, those are them. Yeah. So basically, they want to say that they stumbled upon the Mena drug operation,
Mm-hmm.
but the drug operation has ties with the DA that was also tied to the coroner that was being protected by the governor at the time, which you guys might know him as a former president, Bill Clinton. He was the one that was covering Fahmy Malik, the district attorney, and trying to protect the cops that killed these kids. And there is reason to believe, allegedly, that the marijuana drop ships that were coming in via airplane near those train tracks was money being brought in by Clinton to fund his campaign for election as president, allegedly. And of
Allegedly.
course, yeah. And of course, I would never kill myself.
Is that the disclaimer? Uh,
Yep, yep.
you, you will
Because
not
as
kill
I'm going
yourself.
down this, there's about 130 cases right now that I am just cursory glossed over of 130 murders connected to the Clintons.
So some
So
of
by
these
the
other
time that I
slides you've got, what do they go over? Because I know we have a few slides up here
what do
that
you have?
you wanted to populate.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is all just about the video of that I'm working on right now. Uh, let's get this over here. Yeah, so these slides, this is all about John Ash. This is the former UN General Assembly president and five others charged in a bribery scheme. This is just one of the things that tipped off the FBI in the fact that there was weird money scams going on. And
Mm-hmm.
this is all from the US Department of Justice. And that's when they have, I don't know if I have all the report here. Yeah, so I have 4 pages of reports here where they go into great detail on his business dealings with uh NG Sang and the Clintons on selling real estate under false pretenses to a Chinese government for money for elections. And
That
this was
sounds
in
very
2015.
similar to what the cartels are doing in Arizona with
Well,
selling
that's
and buying of fake mortgages, not even real mortgages. They took it even further. They just made the shit up.
yeah, and it's all money laundering. And it's all basically a way that they can sell off parts of America to foreign entities for loads of cash to fund elections so they can become president, sell off more land and people's rights to foreign entities, and then rinse and repeat, keep themselves elected. Once they
Yeah,
get too old and dying, they do the same system for their
because
kids. And this is how you
that'll clean the money in the transfer. So if they're using drug money, which is like they did in Arizona, it also sounds like that's what the Clintons were doing in Arkansas. You use drug money, which is already really hard to deal with. You buy off a bunch of judges and and local officials, so you can switch the money out for real estate. Then you turn around and sell the real estate back to the people. That washes the money. But meanwhile, you've just moved a bunch of cash for campaigns. That's how you're approving it. Yeah.
Well, you'll also see in California, they're doing a very similar thing with making California so unlivable that people are willing to take a loss just to leave. And then what they're doing is they're making all of it at such an impossible place to live that the housing value and the property value go down. Everyone will leave. And then they buy up all the property, and then they sell it back to the idiots who want to move back to California at an insane profit because they paid pennies on the dollars when no one wanted to live there. And now when they want to get people to live back, they make it livable, and they charge you.
It's a 20, 30-year battle plan, because killing the price of real estate in California is going to be really hard to do to a degree in which you need to get it to drop that far.
Yes,
to get people to sell.
It takes years to destroy. Yeah, it's not like Disney. You can't just go, hey, tomorrow, guys, we're just going to start making horrible movies for the rest of our lives.
With one bank now failing, and possibly we could see another 10 come this next week, that could speed up the foreclosure rate, the buyout. The ninja loans are not a good place to be if your bank goes under.
And with that first European bank crashing.
What about the Silicon Bank? Didn't you hear about that?
Oh yeah, I felt that one.
How did? Because I'm curious, because that was mostly just startups, and like that bank owned its assets were startups and venture capital loans.
I have one startup, and whatever happened, it must have scared the investors because something happened. I was on this. It's like Hub C. It's a digital securities firm out of Israel. And I was like, well, Israel's going to run the world soon, and they're taking over the digital space. So I'll invest in their Hub Security Israel. Well, whatever happened, man, it was doing fine. And then once that bank crashed, it dropped with the rest of the market. It was blood in the water.
Well, yeah. So anybody who was attached to that, and basically anybody who was attached to, here's what I mean. So there's a snowball effect that could happen, right? So
Tesla was green though.
Well, because Tesla's doesn't have any debt by them. They have independent investors. They don't have banks. Elon was smart like that. He kept most of his issues out of banks because, well, I don't know. I'm guessing it had to do with early on that no banks would invest in EV.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wanted to invest in Google.
You heard about them getting screwed by that too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, where the Tesla wasn't qualified because
they changed it now though. They got it. He got it changed up. But it's
send an update.
Yeah, and it was nonsense. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So what's on your next bit of slides here?
Let's pull this up. This is all going over right here. This is the same thing. The UN officials is NG saying he is the one that was doing. This was just a simple one of $200,000 payment from NG to the account of Mr. John Ash had set up in the name of the President of the General Assembly. It's as you go further down. I don't want to read all this thing because this is going to take hours, and I have to break this down.
Like, what are we looking at?
The scheme by Jan. And I'm not sure who Plow is yet. I have to go further into who his research is, was to bribe Ash, who was connected to the Clintons.
Gotcha.
So the initially starts from a Chinese bank through the UN official, the president, which then has ties to Bill and Hillary Clinton and the entire DNC. And that Chinese company also has a business partner called Hunter Biden. So this is where all the connections start to come to. And the linchpin between the bribery and the Clinton and the DNC in America, there's only one connection between China, the UN, and America and the Clintons. And that connection was Ash.
Gotcha.
And Ash is dead. Died of a heart attack while benching 1,000 pounds and crushing his larynx. If that doesn't sound suspicious, then I must be naive.
So, go ahead and give me just kind of tell us where we can find you.
Yeah. So I'm on YouTube and Rumble. You can also find me in Alaska if you want to come here, but I doubt it. It's a long ways to go. But it's Black Raven Media on YouTube. That's my Black Raven Guild on YouTube. And then the subsidiary of that is my Black Raven Report, in which these videos will be on about the Clinton murders. And then as well on Rumble, we have the Black Raven Report. We'll have Alaska News Podcast. And as well, I will have a separate channel for Alaska News primarily, and that will be the Alaska News Podcast. As well, I'll be doing interviews with people around local officials and government officials. And I do occasionally game with Mac here. And Cody and Scarlett from his other channel. So I might be on there occasionally, though I do have a lot of things going on, a lot of research, but I try to bounce around and keep myself in the sphere as much as possible. But yeah, that's where you can find me out. Yeah, I hope you guys like that content, because it's going to be years of my life I'm going to be putting into this. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, guys, if you like this, comment down below, like and subscribe. Check him out in the description below. I'll have links there, and see you guys on the next one.